What's going on, everyone? It's Chambers, chambersbeats.com, and today we're going to be making a beat for SMOKEPURPP and LIL Pump. Usually the beats are not going to be too complicated, so I have two nexuses open here for a melody A and a melody B, and in most cases the melodies are going to be dark when working with them, so let's get right into it. So I have a cool piano right here. Most likely we'll be putting gross beat and other processing effects on this. Okay, so the top line melody is done. Now I'm just going to pick it up a few semitones. Now we can start putting processing effects on it. I'm going to start off with halftime. So as you can see, I made some changes to the melody to make it work with the halftime more efficiently. I also added some attack to the piano so it doesn't hit so hard. So now we're going to add gross beat layers to the melody. Just a quick rundown before I export this into audio. We started out with the halftime. Then here I'm putting on the slow triplet effect, which basically puts it in triplet speed and drops it down 5 semitones. We picked it up back about 4 semitones. Then in the next gross beat I put reverse on it. The one after that we have this turntable effect, which I automated in the playlist. Now I'm going to export it to audio, but remember when you were hearing it, it had all the clicks in it. So I'm going to be using a tool called Isotope RX Declick. This will take the clicks and pops out of the audio and leave us with a smooth clip. Now I'm going to take that melody, put it into the mixer, and we're going to put even more processing on it. Let's start off with Isotope Vinyl. I'm going to put the year to 1970 so it cuts out the high end, but not too much of the low end. I'm also going to increase the warp depth and some mechanical noise and a little bit of wear. I'm going to add a high pass filter. And then a slight low pass just to cut out any high end so it gives it more of a sample feel. And we're going to add a layer on top of it with the second melody. I just added a bell melody, so now I'm going to put some processing on that. I'm going to start by putting it into the mixer, adding halftime, decrease the mix level, and again now we're going to process it with gross beat. Okay, now to explain what I did here, we started out with halftime. Then I added this gross beat that is reversing the last section of it. The next gross beat is just a stutter effect, and this last one is a turntable, except the mix level is turned way down. I'm going to be using the Spins 808 like they did in Nephew by SMOKEPURPP and LIL Pump. Put the trim all the way up, go to your tab over here to the right of the wrench tool, boost it by 3%. Don't put the clip on, that's what I do. Go to the envelope tab, turn everything down except your hold amount. And now we can hold the 808 for however long we want. Also, before you do this, make sure that your 808 is tuned. How do you do that? Go to your 808, right click on the sample, hit edit in audio editor. Now you want to hit this marker tool, go down, hit detect pitch regions. This is already in C, so we're good. But for example, say if it was an F, if that letter said F right there, then you would want to go to your sample, go to the envelope tab, and right click on the F. Now your 808 is tuned, but because we're in C, we're going to leave it at C. Remember, to hear it better, you can move the 808 up an octave. And make sure that you're in the correct octave when you're done adding the 808. This is too high. This is too low. Let's make it bouncy, put an 808 right there. And this is the technique that they used in Nephew. They took the 808, and at the end, they moved the notes up 7 semitones, so it sounds like this. But in this case, that sounds a little too high for me, so I'm going to move it down an octave. So again, what we're doing here is we're dropping the note down, then bouncing it up an octave, then bringing it back down just to bring it back up to the F. Pretty sure they use the snare that sounds like this. Put the trim up, use loop points off, and let's put the snare on the 3 and the 7. Now let's add variation. Nothing crazy with the hi-hats, we'll just add 2 patterns. Right click, hit each 2 steps. I think we'll start with a triplet note. Right click again, hit each 2 steps. And now let's add variation to this with a hi-hat roll. Right before the snare. And we'll put that in 3rd step and drop it down a few notes. I feel like I want to add one more snare, so let's do that. We'll add it right here at the end. Now I'm going to add a kick wherever the 808 is. And now let's listen to what we have in total. Okay, so there you go. That's how you make a beat for SMOKEPURPP and Lil Pump in FL Studio. Remember, we had a dark melody. We had 2 different melodies with variation in them. Gross beat processing, all of that. Then we added our drums to it. So thank you all for watching. I hope you guys could learn something from this, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.